Do you want to treat arthritis at home? Do you want to use natural remedies and avoid taking another medication? Then watch this video where I will discuss 7 home remedies that can decrease the pain, improve your quality of life if you suffer from arthritis.
RheumatologistOnCall.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Diana Gornita, a board-certified rheumatologist, and today I will help you understand what are your options to treat arthritis in the comfort of your home. Many of these home remedies are available over the counter, not hurting, and they also have the great potential to decrease your pain and avoid taking that extra Tylenol, extra ibuprofen that can actually result in multiple side effects. Cold therapy. Many of you know that after you have a fall or a muscle injury or a tendon injury, like a sprain, applying cold is helpful. But why? Because cold therapy numbs the skin nerves, will decrease the pain, the swelling, and the local inflammation. Now, for people with arthritis, cold therapy with something like BioFreeze or menthol-based cream will decrease the pain locally by numbing the skin nerves. When applying an ice bag will also help you in calming down the inflammation and pain from your arthritis. For example, in this study, applying ice-cold packs helped people with osteoarthritis. In this study, cold packs decrease swelling, and 20 minutes of ice massage 5 days per week for 3 weeks compared to controls demonstrated a clinically important benefits for people with osteoarthritis in the knees, with increase in their range of motion and increase in their function and knee strength. Capsaicin cream. Capsaicin is a naturally occurring compound found in chili peppers, and it is responsible for their spicy or hot taste. The amount of capsaicin in a chili pepper determines its level of spiciness. Aside from this culinary use to add heat to the dishes, capsaicin was also shown to have other applications. Topical pain reliever. Capsaicin is commonly used as an active ingredient in topical pain reliever creams and patches. When applied to the skin, it may decrease the pain that you perceive from the nerves in your skin. That is why using capsaicin cream is recommended for neuropathic pain after zoster virus infection, but not during the active infection, but rather after the infection and the skin is cleared. When it comes to patients with knee osteoarthritis, it is also beneficial. In the absence of being able to take anti-inflammatory medication, you can use this one. For example, this study showed that NSAIDs and capsaicin creams were equally effective to decrease pain when compared to placebo. The dose of capsaicin in these studies was between 0.0125% and 0.025% capsaicin, but the most commonly used dose is 0.025% 4 times a day. Even the 2019 American College of Rheumatology guidelines for osteoarthritis support the use of capsaicin for patients with knee osteoarthritis. Now, when it comes to hand osteoarthritis, there is a warning that you might rub the hands to the eyes level when applying it on the hands, and that can cause severe eye irritation. So make sure you use some gloves when you apply the cream and do not rub the hands around the eyes or sensitive skin. Now check out the comment section of this video because I put there some links to products that you can try. NSAIDs, creams or gels. Now because I just mentioned topical NSAIDs, let me talk to you about this next. NSAIDs are medications or drugs. For a long time, there was no topical NSAIDs over the counter, but a few years back, Here in the United States, diclofenac gel was approved to be on the pharmacy shelves available for people to buy. Outside of the United States, there are also other NSAIDs creams or gels available like piroxicam or ketoprofen, which are very similar with diclofenac or what you recognize as Voltaren gel. As a rheumatologist, I often suggest to my patients to use topical rather than taking oral or by mouth NSAIDs because a local therapy has far little side effects when compared to the drugs that you take by mouth, that is absorbed in the blood. And that's why patients are more protected from side effects when they use a topical treatment versus an oral treatment. Now, if you have a history of heart disease, GI bleed, kidney disease, taking an oral NSAID is quite dangerous, and I do not recommend that. I think the use of a gel or a cream is a more targeted therapy with fewer side effects, and topical use of NSAIDs is supported by the American College of Rheumatology guidelines from 2019. The diclofenac gel works best on small joints, like hands osteoarthritis. You just need to massage it very well to make sure that the gel penetrates the skin. When you massage it directly onto that affected area, like knees, hands, elbows, or feet, it can provide you a targeted relief with very minimal absorption into the bloodstream. And this will lower the risk of stomach bleeds, kidney or heart issues, and it will be protective. I would also like to mention here the Aspen Tear Cream, and that is based on salicylates, which are also anti-inflammatory drugs. Heat therapy. When you are in pain, that will contract the muscles around your joints or the muscles around the neck or the lower back, and that will cause further tension and even more pain. Heat is a simple, natural way to decrease the pain by relaxing the muscles, increasing the blood flow to those stiff, painful joints or painful back. You can use ThermaCare wraps, or you can use an electric heating pad for your shoulders, for your neck, for your lower back, or even for the knee osteoarthritis. Now, ThermaCare wraps are very easy to use. You just open the package and apply it in the area where you have the pain. An electric heating pad is usually recommended for about 10 to 15 minutes at a time. So do not sleep overnight on that because that heating pad can cause you severe burnings. Paraffin wax bath. Another way to calm down the pain, especially for hands osteoarthritis, for rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, is to use paraffin wax bath. The pain that comes from your little joints in your fingers or thumb can be calmed down with paraffin wax bath. The paraffin wax bath can provide you the heat and will increase the flexibility, the range of motion, decrease the stiffness and the pain. You can do the paraffin wax treatment in the comfort of your home. Check out this device. You can find a link in the comments of this video and get your pain under control. CBD creams and oils. While they are still under research, there are many CBD topical creams or CBD oils that are gaining popularity for arthritis pain relief. Some studies suggest that CBD might actually have anti-inflammatory properties that can help decrease the inflammation and the pain. But if you want more information related to that, check this video in my channel. However, more high-quality human trials are still needed to fully understand the benefits and what is the appropriate dose. I will do another video when we get more information. Joint-supported braces and splints. Many patients, especially people that use their hands to work, for example, typing, playing an instrument, may develop wear and tear arthritis in the thumbs. Now, females are more predisposed to develop arthritis in their hands. Arthritis of the thumbs can be very painful. Patients with rheumatoid arthritis can develop carpal tunnel syndrome that can also cause pain, tingling, and numbness. Simple braces, sleeves, or splints are very effective home remedies that will stabilize the joints with arthritis. I often recommend to my patients the use of arthritis gloves, thumb splints, or wrist braces for carpal tunnel, or knee sleeves or braces for the knees. Why? Because of offloading the pressure and keeping the joints properly aligned. In that situation, the pain will decrease. Again, I will leave all these links to the products that I recommend to my patients in my practice, so don't forget to check them out. All these natural remedies do not cure arthritis, but they can help you decrease that pain, improve your function of your joints, and why not live a better life? Now that you understand how these 7 home remedies can help you reduce the pain from arthritis, you should also watch this video about the best devices that you can use for hands arthritis.
rheumatologistoncall.com